Yes. Good morning, students. I am Disha Roshan Bhakta, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, Bansanga SMCT College of Science, Commerce and Management Studies, Powai. So today, students, we are going to see about arrays. Okay. We are going to continue with our discussion on arrays. Okay. And we are going to focus on certain operations of array today. Fine. So let's move ahead. So today we are going to see algorithms about the insertion in array, and we will also see that how we can insert in array at certain position. Now when we talk about insertion, there are two cases. Either it will be possible that the whole array will be blank and we need to insert the values at all the places into the array, or it might also be there that the array has certain values, and certain values can be still filled into the array, because let's say the array is of size 10 and there are only three values as of now. Then it might be possible that certain more values can be accommodated into it. Then we will see what is the deletion process, okay, wherein we are going to wherein we are going to see about how we can delete. But here we have to understand that the insertion and deletion are not going to increase or decrease the size of an array, okay. And then we'll start with the searching operation also. Fine, students. Okay, so moving ahead, students, we are considering an array of 5 elements over here, okay. If you see the index values, it is 0 1 2 uh, 3 and 4. And as of now in this array, we have seen that first three values are filled. But the very first algorithm that we are going to see, we have to consider a situation wherein the whole array is empty, no values are there into it. Fine. Okay, going forward. Okay, so this is the algorithm wherein basically we want to fill the whole array with certain values which we are going to get it from the user. Fine. So the first step says for I equals to lower bound till n. N is nothing but we can say the size of an array. So from let's say 0 to the size of the array. So the size of the array could be 5, 10, whatever. Okay. What we have to do is, okay, we have to repeat steps 2 to 4, which means we have to repeat step 2, step 3 and step 4. Now what is step 2? So what we are doing is we are taking a value of element from the user, and that variable name, okay, that we have assigned in is known as value. Okay, so value is nothing but the value of the element that we are going to take it from the user. Okay, and then what we are going to do is set a of I. Now what is a? A is the name of array. What is I? So I as of now is targeting to lower bound, that is 0. So a of 0 equals to value. Okay, so whatever value the user has given, that will go to a of 0. So let's say when we have asked from the user enter the element or something like that, and the user has given the value as 10. So what will happen? The whole array was blank, but now at a of 0 you have 10. Okay, and then what we are telling that, okay, set I is equals to I plus 1. So I was, let's say, 0 and I has become 1. Okay, 1 will again go up. It will be checked whether it is matching to n, or which means it is less than to n. So let's say our array size is 5, then yes, 1 is less than 5. Okay, in that case, again let's take a value from the user. Let's say this time the user has given value as 20. Okay, so in that case, in a of 1, 20 will come. Again I will increase, I will become 2. 2 is less than 5. Yes, 2 is less than 5. Okay, so what will happen? We'll take the value from the user again. That will go in a of 2. A of 2 will be the value that user has given, that is 30. I will be increased, I will become 3. Is 3 less than 5? Yes, in that case what will happen is that we'll again going to take a value from the user. Okay, and that value will be set to a of 3. Now I will become 4. 4 less than 5? Yes, the value will go in a of 4. Okay, let's say the user has given 50. And so now what we can see is the whole array is filled, and now once I will be increased, once again what will happen is that it will become 5. 5 less than 5? No, we want to just fill till the upper bound. Okay, and that we have already reached. And yes, so in that case the whole array will be filled with values which are given by the user. Okay, So students, I'm repeating again, this is an algorithm wherein the whole array is empty, and the algorithm focus on to fill the whole array with values. Okay. So the algorithm will work on whatever the size of the array is. The size of the array could be 5, 10, 15, 20, depending on what array you have made. Yes, but in this algorithm what will happen is it will fill the whole array. Okay. Which means all the values in the array will be filled using this algorithm. So let's say the algorithm starts with for I equals to lower bound till n. Okay. And we have to repeat step 2, 3 and 4 for that. Step 2 says we have to take a value of the element from the user, and the name of the variable that we have used for this is value. Okay. Then we have set a of I equals to value. So a is nothing but the name of our array. I is 0, and then value whatever is there we have set to that, and then we have incremented the value of I. Okay, so it can move ahead, then it will be checked again, and this whole process of taking the value and setting the values will be repeated until and unless we reach the upper bound of the array. Okay, so students, yes, this was about the algorithm for insertion in an array, insertion in a scenario where the whole array is empty. See students, if we talk about insertion operation, there can be multiple ways for insertion, and when we will do the programs of that, okay, we can demonstrate all those multiple ways of insertion. As in, let's say the array size is of 10. Okay. The user's choice may be just to enter 2 elements or 3 elements as of now, and then maybe 3 elements later, likewise. So it is absolutely possible. And yes, it will always be the case that depending on the choice of the user, insertion will take place, but it will take place until and unless there is a space in an array. If the space is not there, we can tell that array will not allow to enter. So that that condition which we call, when the array is full, we call that condition as a overflow condition, and in that case the insertion operation will not be possible. Okay. So now let's look into the next algorithm, wherein the next algorithm says that there are certain values in the array. Okay, so if we say the situation is like this, there are certain values, okay, in the array, and you want to and you want to insert more values. Okay, so certain values are there and you want to insert more values. Now one situation could be that new values could be inserted at the places which are already empty, or you might also want that new values should be inserted somewhere in between. If that is the case, then maybe the values have to be shifted, or those things can become. Okay. Or let's say it is also possible, the simplest thing is the user gives a position, and at that position you want to insert the value. So now if we let's take an algorithm, okay, that insertion at a position. Okay, so now what do we see over here is that, so this algorithm basically focuses on a situation where the value will be inserted at a particular position. Okay, so if we say let's say set I equals to the lower bound. Okay, and let's say take the value of the element from the user. Okay, and take the position. Okay, now over here what this is a simple scenario. The simple scenario, why? Because we are taking position from the user, and then over here probably it is already expected that that position is empty as of now. Okay, so these algorithm will focus on a situation where that position is empty, but yes, we have to also see that that position is not greater than the upper bound. Okay, so which means so if we go back here, and let's say the position that is given to us is 3. Okay, now yes, 3 is not greater than upper bound, then in that case one element can go over here. So directly what we will do is at this position, okay, the new element will be inserted. So this is a very simple scenario wherein just we are giving a position, and at that position a certain value is getting, uh, put or fed over there, and assuming that the position is empty. Okay, so that's how it will be. And in the other case, what it can happen is that we can uh, we can have the shifting of values also possible. Okay, so that we will understand, okay, in certain time. Okay, so now let's talk about the deletion. Okay, so in deletion, let's say what we do is we take a position of the element from which it has to be deleted. Okay, and then what we do is, first of all, we print the element which has to be deleted, because then afterwards it will be no longer there. Okay, so what we do is print the deleted element, and then we print a of position. Now what we have to do is, so let's say if this is the array, and if this whole array is filled with certain values, and let's say we are deleting a value. Okay, so what should happen, the whole values at the back should shift. Okay, they should shift one by one, because one element now in the array is deleted. So let's say in this scenario, when you have 14, 23 and 67, if the user says the user wants to delete 23, then now the array should have 14, 67, and the rest three places, should look empty, so that the user can place something over there, right? So in this scenario, the algorithm will go as set I is equals to position, that is the place from where the element is deleted, while I is less than upper bound. So I will go till upper bound, and what we are doing is set A of I is currently at position, equals to A of I plus 1, which means the current element is deleted. Now what we are doing, we are just replacing that current element with the element which was ahead than it. Okay, so if we see over here, if 23 is deleted, we have to replace it by 67, and this process should go for all the elements. Now in this case there are only three elements, so that is fine. But what if the array would be having 14, 23, and let's say 67, and one more element 55? So, and we want to delete 23. So what will happen is, the array has to show then 14, 67 and 55. So this process we have to do until and unless we are finding elements into the array. So what will happen, students, over here is, we have to go till upper bound, and then we have to start replacing A of I with A of I plus 1. Okay, and then again we have to increase I, so that I can move forward. And this whole process will be repeated until and unless all the elements from the back side have came ahead, and then now the position from which that element is deleted is actually, replaced by the other element. And then by doing this process whole way, one element have came ahead. Okay, so this is a scenario wherein probably, what you see is that certain element which you have to delete is being displayed to the user, and at that location, okay, all the elements which were after that, they have started coming one by one ahead. And so let's say if there was an array having 10 values, and the user has told to delete, let's say, uh, one element, then what will happen is, if the array is filled with, let's say, 7 values, so the array size is 10, the array was filled with 7 values, one element now deleted. So what will happen is, now initially for new elements there was only 3 places available, but now for new elements there will be 4 places available, wherein the user can put new elements over there. So this is about the deletion process in an array. Okay. Now, if we talk about searching, okay, so the process of searching is to find out the desired element into the array, and then afterwards, whether that element is available, we have to find out at which position that element is. So in this case, there are two different types of searching available: linear search and binary search. Today our focus will be understanding the linear search. Okay, so simple searching, which means what, let's say there is an array having 100 values, and user asks whether the value 505 is present in the array or not. Okay, and the reply of the searching algorithm should be yes, it is present, and it is present at position 10, or let's say it is present at position 50. So that has to be, the simplest working of searching algorithm. But you can understand, as and when the array size will grow, the searching algorithm will become more and more complex, or maybe more and more time consuming. So initially, if the array size is 100, you might have to find out the elements from 100. If the array size is 1000, then the whole searching mechanism will go from 1000, and likewise, it will go ahead. So that's why, okay, there are two algorithms given to us, and maybe once we understand both of these algorithms, we will actually understand what is the difference and which one is more preferable in which scenario. So both of them, students, does the same work. Both of them are responsible for doing searching, but yes, the working of both of them is a bit different. Okay, so today we are going to focus on linear search. Now, so linear search. In linear search, comparison starts from the first element, then it moves ahead to the second element. Okay. So the searching will always start from the first element, and then it will move ahead to the second element, and then it will go on second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, till the end of the array. This continues until the desired element is found, or till the end of the array is reached. Okay. So this process of comparison will happen until and unless the first element is reached, it reaches the element which it has to found, or maybe it will start comparing this whole thing till the end of the array. If the end of the array is reached without finding the element, then the search is unsuccessful. So let's say if we reach the end of the array and whatever element we need to found, we have not found. So as in I told you just now, that if there is an array of, let's say, 100 values, the user is asking whether 505 is present in it or not. So what will happen is, we'll start comparing with a of the first element, that is at 0th position, whether a of 0 is 505, uh, yes or no. No, go ahead. Whether a of 1 is 505, no, go ahead. Whether a of 2 is 505, no, go ahead. So it will be go ahead until and unless that element is not found. If the element is found, the whole algorithm will stop over there. It will just tell the user that the element is found, and it will tell the position also. Okay, but then what is happening is that we go on finding and finding, and what happens is we reach at the last element. Okay, so in an array of size 100, we reached at 100 and we didn't found 505. So we will tell that the search was unsuccessful and we were not able to find that element. If the element is found, search is successful, and the position of that element will be displayed to the user. Okay, so if the search is found, then yes, our task is done, and then we are simply going to display that position to the user. Fine. So how these algorithm will run? Okay, what exactly will happen? Fine. So if we see, step one is to take the value from the user. So we have to first ask the user what value you want to find out from the array. So as I just told you, let's say the user may give certain value, just example 505. Now what we have to do is, because we have to search the whole array, we have to start from lower bound, that is 0, and then we have to go till the size of the array. Okay, so we have to search the whole array. Okay, and what we have written, step 3 and 4. Okay, so if we see steps 3 and 6 is over here. Okay, yeah, so the next two steps basically, students, okay, we have to repeat step 3 and step 4. That is step 3 and the next step, which is being displayed. So now step 3 says, if a of I, okay, equals to value. Now what is I over here? I is 0. Equals to value is nothing but the value that is being given by the user. So let's say if you find that value, okay, then it is one of the very easiest thing. Okay, then you will just say element is found and the position, the value of I is displayed. Okay, and exit, which means let I is 1, and you have found the element at the very first position. Simply you will display, and then the whole process is going to stop. Okay, but then let's say, because exit we have written, the whole process, the algorithm is going to go out from that state. Okay, so if you see in these algorithm, there are two exit. Okay, so if the very first exit is found over there, the algorithm will terminate, or the algorithm will terminate when the next exit is found. Okay, Now what has happened, we didn't found the element, so we went ahead, so we increased the value of I. Okay, now so I has become 1 now. Now we have checked whether the array values there at the second position. No, we didn't found. We moved ahead. Let's say the array size is of 10. So this whole process we did for first element, second element, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Let's say when we reach the seventh element, we found this is the same value which user is expecting, then we will return the answer. Okay, this is one scenario. The second scenario is we reach the seventh element, eighth element, ninth element, and even the 10th element, and we were not able to find the element with the user or the value which the user wants. In that case, what we will say is our loop will terminate, and the if condition was not successful, the loop is terminated, and then we have to tell the user that the desired element is not found in the array. Okay, so whatever element you wanted is not found in the array, so we can print like that, and we can tell the user that the search was unsuccessful, the element couldn't be found. And yes, this is a scenario wherein yeah, and this is a scenario wherein the algorithm will then stop telling the user that the element was not found. So the simplest way this search is working is it will start with the very first element, and it will go on matching these values until and unless it finds the value which is requested by the user. And once that is found, it will simply exit and it will display that element. Okay, so that was about linear search. Okay, so again, if we see about linear search, in the linear search states, okay, it starts comparing with the first element, and then it moves ahead to the second element, and this whole process continues till the element is found or the end of the array is reached. If at the end of the array is reached and the element which we wanted is not found, then the search will be unsuccessful. And if the search element is found, then that position of the element will be returned to the user. Okay, so what we do is we take the value from the user, then we start with our let's say looping from the lower bound till the size of the array, and then we start matching the value which is given by the user to search to the values in our array. One by one the comparison starts. If the comparison is successful, then the position of that element is returned, else it will go on and on till the end of the array is reached. And let's say if the end of the array is reached without finding that element, then the message will be that the element is not found. Okay, so this is first approach of searching, that is linear search. Okay, so and there is one more approach that we have seen, that is binary search. So now the linear search is absolutely fine and it will work. It will always work, okay, because it is searching the whole array. So why it will not work? It will definitely work. But the only we can say certain limitations would be that if the array size continuously grows on increasing. So let's say the array size is 100. Okay, fine, linear search will work well. If the array size become 1000, the linear search will become bit slow. If the array size becomes to 1 lakh length, the linear search will become still very low, because then what it has to do is it has to start comparing and comparing and comparing the whole. And what if the worst scenario is what the element that you have to found is maybe at the last place, or maybe in an array of 1000 elements, the element that you have to found is at location 9998. Okay, so that will become the worst scenario, or we can say worst complexity for linear search. Now I'm using the word worst complexity, and students, we have seen what do we mean by worst complexity. We mean that the time consumption is very high, and yes, the time consumption will be very high if we talk about linear search, and if we want to find out an element which is at that position. So to overcome this, okay, there is another algorithm of searching that is known as binary search, which is available, and the working of binary search will be a bit different than these linear search. Okay, so that is going to be the next searching algorithm which will be covered into our next session. Okay, but linear search is something, which is very probably, used at many times, okay, because it is the simplest searching technique. And as we have already discussed, that search operation is also one of the very famous operation when we talk about a data structure. Okay, so that was the linear search. Okay, so yes students, if then today if we discuss that, what we have done is, then we have seen about the insertion algorithm, wherein we have understood that the insertion, one possibility could be the whole array is empty and we want to insert the all the values. The another possibility, we just want to insert one element at one place, okay, and that place is empty. Okay, the another possibility of insertion could be, let's say you want to insert an element somewhere in between. In that case, you have to do the shifting of elements. Okay, and the another possibility, that could be the whole array is empty, but you want to insert only certain elements at a time. All these different scenarios will be covered into the programs that we are going to code for this insertion operation. In deletion, so in deletion, if you see, then what will happen, that the element at a one place will be deleted, and deleted in the sense it will be just shown to the user that these element is deleted. And then what will happen is, that element will be replaced by the next element, and these replacement will go on till whatever elements are there in there. So one by one they will start coming ahead. And because they have start coming ahead, if initially there were only two empty spaces, now we will be seeing that there are three empty spaces for the deletion operation. And then we understood the linear search. So linear search was basically nothing but just a sequential search, wherein one by one elements of the array are getting searched from the search value which is being given by the user. Okay. So yes students, that was for today. Okay, thank you very much.